Listen, right now there's someone in your life who speaks a language you don't fully understand yet. They say something. You walk away confused. You replay the conversation in your head over and over. You start wondering if maybe it was your fault. Maybe you overreacted. Maybe you're just too sensitive. And that confusion you're left with, that self-doubt creeping in after every single interaction, that's not a side effect. That's the whole point. Narcissists don't just lie. They speak in a hidden language, one that is specifically designed to keep you off balance, second-guessing yourself and doubting your own reality. And as long as you don't understand that language, they will keep stealing your peace, your confidence, and your clarity. Most people say, just ignore them, just walk away. Wrong. You can't protect yourself from something you can't even recognize. But today, that changes. I'm handing you the decoder. By the end of this video, you will know the 5 most dangerous phrases narcissists use, and the exact words to say back to shut it down instantly. No drama, no long speeches, no fighting, just simple, powerful responses you can use today. I'm walking you through all 5, from the sneakiest to the most dangerous one on the list. Stay until the end, because phrase number 5 will completely change how you understand every conversation you've ever had with them. I used to think I was the problem. Every argument I had with a certain person ended with me apologizing, not because I was wrong, but because they were better at the language. They had phrases I didn't have answers to, and I'd walk away every single time feeling smaller, quieter, more unsure of myself. It wasn't until I started studying exactly what they were saying, not just what the words sounded like, but what the words were actually doing, that everything changed. I stopped feeling crazy, I stopped taking the bait, and I started recognizing the trap before they even finished setting it. So today, I'm breaking this down for you. You're too sensitive. Sounds like concern on the surface. It sounds like someone trying to explain themselves. It's not. This phrase is one of the most common tools in the narcissist's arsenal, and it serves one specific purpose. It flips the script. The moment they say it, your legitimate pain becomes your personal problem. You stop talking about what they did, you start defending yourself, and just like that, they escape without accountability. Most people don't even notice the switch happened. Picture this. You're hurt by something they said. It was clear. It was disrespectful. You approach them calmly, like a reasonable adult. You say, "Hey, that comment really bothered me." And before you even finish the sentence, they look at you and say, "Oh my God, you're so sensitive. I didn't mean anything by it." Now what? Now you're on the defensive. You're explaining your own feelings instead of them explaining their behavior. You're the problem, they're the victim, and the original issue. Gone. Here's what's really happening in their head. They don't want to apologize. Because a genuine apology requires accountability, and accountability is their biggest fear. So instead of saying, "I'm sorry, that was wrong of me," they redirect your pain back onto you. This is a classic manipulation move, and it works on empathetic, self-aware people every single time. Because empathetic people actually consider the possibility that maybe they are too sensitive. The narcissist knows this. They're counting on it. So what do you say? Simple. Say exactly this: "My feelings are valid. That's not up for debate." That's it. No defending yourself. No explaining why you have a right to feel hurt. Just those 8 words. Watch what happens next. They didn't know what to do with that, because you didn't fight, you didn't justify, you just closed the door. And that boundary, delivered that calmly, hits harder than any argument ever could. But wait until you hear the next one. Think of this phrase as a trap door. A narcissist says something that cuts right through you. Could be a comment about your appearance, your intelligence, your choices, something personal, something that lands exactly where it was aimed. You react. And the second you do, trap door. Relax, I was just joking. Can't you take a joke? Now you look like the sensitive one. Now you look like the dramatic one. But here's the dangerous part. This was never an accidental joke gone wrong. This was a deliberate test. Imagine this. You're at a family dinner or out with a group of people. The narcissist in your life makes a comment in front of everyone about a mistake you made, your weight, your relationship, your job, something that makes the table go quiet for a second. You feel that familiar sting in your chest. You say, "Hey, that wasn't cool." And they lean back, completely relaxed, and say, "Wow, it was just a joke. Everyone else thought it was funny." Now everyone's looking at you. Now you ruined the mood. Now you're the one who can't take a joke. But you didn't ruin anything. They did. And they knew exactly what they were doing. And here's the crazy part. This phrase actually works in 2 directions simultaneously. If you react, they use it to humiliate you. If you don't react, they file a way that they can push further next time. It's a no-lose play for them. It's a low-risk probe. Every non-reaction gives them permission to go deeper. This is calculated. It is never, ever accidental. So what do you say? Don't raise your voice, don't make a scene, look them directly in the eye and say exactly this. Funny how your jokes always seem to target someone? Calm. Flat. Then turn away. Don't wait for their response. Don't smile after. That one sentence does two things at once. It signals to everyone watching that you see the game, and it tells the narcissist, without a single raised voice, that you are no longer a safe target. And here's where it gets interesting. Everyone thinks you're too much. Everyone says you're hard to deal with. I'm not the only one who sees this. Ask anyone. Sound familiar? This is one of the most toxic phrases in the narcissist's entire hidden language, because in one sentence, they've done something terrifying. They've turned your disagreement with one person into a fight against an invisible crowd. You're outnumbered before you even open your mouth. And that feeling of mass social rejection, it is paralyzing. Think about it. You're holding your ground in a disagreement. You're calm, you're clear, you're not backing down. And then they pull this card, it's not just me, everyone agrees with me on this. And suddenly you feel a wave of panic. Who is everyone? What are people saying about you? Should you be worried? You start second-guessing yourself. You start softening. And just like that, you back down. They win. With a faceless army they invented on the spot. Here's what's really happening. Narcissists understand social proof. They know that humans are biologically wired to fear rejection from the group. It's a survival instinct, and they have weaponized it. They manufactured a crowd to make you feel isolated and outnumbered. And here's the crazy part. The crowd is almost always fictional. There is no everyone. But saying, I think you're difficult, is vulnerable. It's just them. Saying, everyone thinks you're difficult, feels powerful. It shifts the weight. But strip it down, and it's nothing but a bluff. A bluff that only works if you don't call it. So what do you say? Say this. Okay, name one person. 3 words. Look at them. Don't flinch. Don't fill the silence. Name one person. Watch what happens. They'll either change the subject or get defensive and angry. Both responses tell you everything. Because if there was actually everyone, they could name one person easily. The fact that they can't, that's the confession. But that's nothing compared to the next one. This phrase turns love into a transaction. It turns every act of kindness they've ever shown you into a debt you didn't know you were accumulating. And every single time you try to set a limit, say no, or ask for something different, they hand you the bill. After everything I've done for you. Like you're late on payments. Like their past generosity has now purchased your permanent compliance. Like saying no is a betrayal. This is one of the most emotionally brutal tactics in the narcissist's playbook. And it works because it targets something real. Genuine gratitude you might actually feel. Picture this. You finally build up the courage to say no to something. Maybe you can't attend an event. Maybe you can't lend the money this time. Maybe you just need space, some actual breathing room. And the second you say it, the look on their face changes. Here it comes. I can't believe you. After everything I've done for you, after everything I sacrificed. And suddenly you feel it. That wave of guilt. You start mentally replaying every favor they did. Every time they showed up. Maybe they really did help you once. Maybe they were genuinely there during a hard moment. And now that's being used as a weapon against the word no. The reason they do this is chilling once you see it clearly. They never gave freely, not once. Every favor was a strategic investment. Every gift had a future purpose. Every act of kindness was quietly logged. They were keeping score from day one. This is what I call the invisible ledger, a secret debt they've been building in your name, without your knowledge, without your consent. And the worst part, you can never pay it off, because the moment you try, they add more to the balance. So what do you say? Say this. I appreciate what you've done, and I still need to say no. 2 parts. 1 sentence of acknowledgement, 1 sentence of boundary. You didn't dismiss their history. You didn't pretend they've done nothing. But you also refused to let their past choices control your present decisions. That 2-part response completely disarms the guilt trap. Because it works with reality, it just refuses to be controlled by it. And if you thought that was bad, wait until you hear this last one. This is the most dangerous phrase on this entire list. Not because it's the loudest. Not because it's the most dramatic, but because of where it strikes. It doesn't attack your behavior. It doesn't attack your choices. It attacks your mind. I never said that. That never happened. You're making things up again. 3 sentences that, over time, can make a completely healthy, grounded person feel like they are losing their grip on reality. This is gaslighting, and it is the narcissist's most powerful weapon. Picture this. Something happened. They said something hurtful. They made a promise. They said something you K now. You heard clearly. You remember exactly where you were standing. You remember the tone of their voice. You bring it up days later, calmly, and they look at you, completely unbothered, and say, I never said that. That's not what happened. And when you push back, they escalate. Why do you always twist things? You have a real problem with reality. I'm worried about you. And now you're sitting there, replaying the memory on loop, wondering, maybe, just maybe, you got it wrong. You didn't. They are rewriting history. Calmly, deliberately, right in front of your face. Here's what's really happening. Gaslighting is not just lying. It is a systematic, patient attack on your perception of reality. The goal is not to convince you of a different version of the truth. The goal is to destroy your trust in your own memory. Because a person who doesn't trust their own mind can never hold anyone accountable, ever. These are the most dangerous manipulators, not because they're loudest, but because they're the most patient. They do this slowly, quietly, over months, over years. And here's the crazy part. They know exactly what they said. They're not confused. They're not misremembering. They are strategic. Every denial is a choice. So what do you say? This is where your silent power takes over. Don't argue. Don't beg them to remember. Don't pull out evidence or receipts like you're on trial. Say this calmly, just once. I know what I heard. We can disagree. Then stop. No more. You are not asking them to validate your memory. You are not waiting for their permission to trust yourself. You are simply declaring, with complete calm, that their denial does not erase your reality. That is the most powerful thing you can say to someone trying to steal your mind. Your truth does not require their agreement. Your memory does not need their signature to be real. Boom! Here's what nobody tells you about narcissists. Every single one of these 5 phrases has one thing in common. They are not about you. They were never about you. When they said you're too sensitive, that was their fear of accountability talking. When they said, I was just joking, that was their need to wound without consequence. When they called in the invisible army, that was the panic of someone whose control is slipping. When they handed you the debt, that was someone who doesn't know how to give without strings. And when they stole your memory, that was the most desperate move of all. The move of someone who cannot survive in a world where you trust yourself. Every toxic phrase they've ever spoken was never a statement about your worth. It was a confession about their fear. People who are genuinely secure do not need to speak this language. They don't need to confuse you. They don't need an army of faceless people backing them up. They don't need to erase what you remember, because secure people are not afraid of your power. Only scared people are. But here's the plot twist. The moment you understand this language, the very second you can hear one of these phrases and immediately recognize what it is, it loses every ounce of power it ever had over you. It's like turning on the lights in a room that used to terrify you. Suddenly it's just a room. Suddenly they're just a person, a scared, insecure person who needed your confusion to feel in control, and the moment you take your confusion away, they have nothing left to work with. They were never speaking to the real you. They were speaking to the version of you that didn't know better. Now you do. The moment you learn their language is the moment you stop being their target and start being their greatest threat. Pick one of these 5 phrases. Just one. The one that hit closest to home. The one that made you think of someone specific. Practice the response this week. Say it out loud right now if you have to. Hear yourself say it. Then come back and tell me in the comments which of these 5 phrases have you heard the most. I genuinely want to know. And if this video helped you finally see something clearly, hit that subscribe button. One click. That's all I'm asking. And at the end of next week's video, I'll be giving a shout out to one subscriber. It could be you. Now go show the world you're not someone who can be played anymore.